Amy Moonsong here again. Welcome to Virgo season. Virgo season is all about the harvest. This is where we get the opportunity to see what the fruits of our labor throughout the year that has preceded us is yielding for us. It gives us the opportunity to assess, analyze, and organize all of the valuable things that we've brought forth, as well as the opportunity to do away with that which is no longer serving us. It is the second earth sign of the year, and it is mutable earth, which means that it takes us into the ability to adapt. It takes us into the ability to refine, and it helps us to understand more deeply the connection that we have between our mind and our body. Because Virgo comes to us at the very end of summer, it is the end of the summer growth cycle. Having been through Cancer and Leo, we now get the opportunity to do a much more grounded integration of all of this emotional learning and all of this passionate, inspirational sense of self-learning that we've done. Now we get to make it practical. So I hope that you enjoy this little video that I've put together for you about Virgo, and that it helps you to connect more deeply with the aspect of you that knows how to be impeccable, that wants things to be a certain way, that wants to help others, that wants to be of service, and that part of you that intrinsically knows that if you don't take care of yourself, and if you don't understand how to help yourself and nurture yourself, that you won't be able to take care of others in a balanced and truly present, loving way. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. One of the key things that we want to make the connection with when we're going into the Virgo aspect of us is that Cancer is the sense of self, our ability to feel ourselves, and Leo is the sense of our passion and how we express that passion, and Virgo is our sense of purpose. It's the work that we're here to do in the world, and it's how we take this passion and make it into our vocation. It's the work that we're here to do in the world, no matter how that shows up. But the energy of Virgo within all of us is our capacity to figure that out, is to assess, to analyze, to organize, to refine, and to put things into an order so that they can be expressed in the most beautiful, harmonizing way. And there is a really strong connection to beauty with Virgo, because remember, even though Virgo takes us into different planetary rulerships in terms of the earth element, it's still, by virtue of the fact that it's part of this earth cycle, is connected to that Venusian Empress energy that we learned about in Taurus. The Virgo in us is the part of us that wants things to be as perfect and beautiful and symmetrical and as aesthetic as they possibly can be, whatever that means for us, however that comes through. So when we are exploring this Virgo part of ourselves, we're stepping into the experience of how it is that we manage this part of ourselves. And the interesting part about that is because it's ruled by Mercury. So again, we're going into magician vibes. And we learned in the sign of Gemini that the magician has so much to do with how we're aware of all of the different parts of us and how we understand the power that each one of them holds and the different ways in which we interact with them and hold space for them. That determines how much personal power we're actually consciously channeling at any given moment. So Virgo has that aspect of itself that comes forward for us during this season. So Virgo has a lot to do with how we do things and how we do them consciously. It's about thinking things through. It's about seeing what's ahead It's about learning from the things that have happened in the past, and based off of that, formulating the best way to do something. One of my mentors is a Virgo, and he was a composer. And the work and the analysis and the time and the effort that went into the way that he put his compositions together, the way that he felt them, the way that he understood how to stay present with the process, and all of the things that happen when we're investing ourselves in a creative endeavor, and all of the different emotions and all of the different factors that can come in with that. He showed me a level of mastery in the way that he was able to deal with all of the things that came up when you actually set out to take something that you're passionate about and make it into a physical thing that not only expresses your creativity in a way you can enjoy that, but that actually becomes an act of beauty and service that also edifies and inspires and brings healing to other people. And the Virgo in us is also the part of us that is a healer. And we get the opportunity to explore, number one, what is healing for us? What parts of us have we had to learn how to heal? Because it's our own experience with healing that becomes how we know how to offer healing to others as well. And we see an association, like the Virgo in us is also the physician and the magician at the same time. It's the medicine person, because they understand how to combine the right types of ingredients, the right timing to do things in order to turn what could be poison into a cure. And again, this precision, this attention to detail, this ability to understand all the factors involved is what makes that Virgo aspect of us capable of that level of intelligence and dynamism that's required to do this sort of thing. So in terms of the relationship to the magician and Mercury, Virgo is also the part of us that understands how to do ritual. And this really is where we see more of the, magical practice aspect of the magician. In Gemini, it was more about taking it all in, getting your feet underneath you and understanding all of the elements. Virgo, the Mercury magician aspect of the Virgo is about learning how to do magic with them. So it could be the magic of medicine. And in a sense, symbolically, it's your own personal medicine. And this takes us into the fact that Virgo is the sign of service. It's not just about work in that sense. It's about how we've come to serve the world, right? In that sense of purpose, how we've come to do our own healing and how we've come to offer that as well. So this takes us into our compulsion to help others, to be helpful, to make things better. But this is also where we have to step into the delicate balance of the alchemy with Virgo, because our desire to help, our compulsion to be of service, to be valuable, is also our need to be needed. And where we can make the comparison with Leo energy, the sense of like needing to be validated, needing to be loved, needing to be seen, for our creative self, for our authentic self. We saw how that, without a stable foundation of true self-worth, becomes the masks of Leo and the reactivity of Leo and all of those passions that can control us. The same thing in Virgo is that without this sense of knowing how to care for yourself, right? Because Virgo is about caring for others. Without knowing how to properly care for yourself, knowing what you need, knowing what your medicine is, then your compulsion to care for and help others also becomes about validating yourself instead of actually helping other people. It's about needing to be needed. So we can see these aspects of like codependency coming up, where the part of you that can need to be surrounded by people who are broken or who are in a chronic state of needing to be healed, because it gives you a sense of value instead of actually understanding you need to be able to be healed yourself and then take that wisdom forward and offer that to others. Because when we offer help and support from a healed space, that's when we have the wisdom, the intuition, and the sensitivity to understand what they actually need, instead of just being in our head about it and being in our ego about it too. Virgo can become the perfectionist. It can become the micromanager. It can become controlling, because it's so wise and it has such a perspective on things that it really thinks that it knows everything. And it thinks that it can really think that it knows better than everybody else, not even from an egotistical place, but just from the fact that a lot of times that Virgo energy within us is very, very competent and really does see a lot of things that other people who might not be in that energy aren't going to see. So it can become very, very easy without that self-control to take over things and do it for everyone. This is where you start learning everybody's lesson for them, because ultimately you're not respecting and trusting their process enough to let them go through the experience of figuring things out for themselves. Be that because it's the overprotective, you really care about this person and you want them in your life, or because, again, it's that need of the self-validation of having what other people need. So we really get an opportunity to look deep at this part of ourselves. Virgo gives us the opportunity to understand what our healing process actually is. And one of the ways, the key ways that Virgo does this is by teaching us the lesson and the wisdom of the Hermit, which is the card that is the sign of Virgo. And the Hermit teaches us how to go inside and how to do that self-assessment, that self-awareness. This is where you're able to pull in completely from the world around you and establish the still mind that we talked about in Gemini. And from that place of stillness, doing inner work, really, really listening. And this is very much about connecting with the body and connecting with nature. It's also about how we draw wisdom from nature and from our bodies by being in that place of stillness. So this is an incredible adventure for us to go on as we enter the energy of the harvest, and we really learn what it is to harvest the wisdom of our own experiences, to take forward what's valuable, to learn how to make our medicine with it, to make what's going to preserve us so that we can learn how to give that to other people, and how to also release and let go of those things that are no longer necessary for us, our old and outdated ways of doing things, through that adaptability that Virgo gives us, that ability that it gives to us to pull ourselves out of the tunnel vision of Taurus that helps us to stay the course and say, how do I adjust the course so that I'm able to grow and come to new levels of knowing myself and living my life? If you're interested in joining the program, or if you'd just like to have access to this entire presentation, click the link below to sign up for more information, and I'll get in touch with you and let you know how you can do that.